Hello, everybody. Started a little early. It is my 1972 project. It's MV from Cardiff, and it's who the hell is Carmen Fanzone anyway? So I had about a week. I just took off while I was waiting for the new update on Payoff Pitch, and I'm glad to say it is going to happen tomorrow. But I couldn't wait any longer with the project. I think I'm in week. God, now you're talking week 6, episode 6 or episode 7 of this 1972 project. And tonight I'm going to be doing a Tommy John. I believe he's recently passed away. He was one of my favourites that I can vaguely remember, being an older Tommy John. And obviously the surgery is named after him, so he's quite famous for not being in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is. But here I get a chance to see these guys. I got into baseball in 1985, really, 84 I'd say, but really 85, in a big way. I'm from Europe, UK, and obviously we didn't have that naturally on TV at that time, although we do have that now, or we can access it now. However, I had to scratch around and get these games from lots of different sources. Like Earl Weaver had to get somewhere way out of London, take a train, go get it, and it fueled my interest. I used to read USA Today, and that got me. And to bring me fully up to date, to skip another 30 years, I've been a fan of Out of the Park. I've been a fan of Action PC in more recent years, but I'm a big fan of Payoff Pitch. I have to say, it's blown me away. So fantastic. The aesthetics of it all really, really, really have blown me away. And I think it's a game to watch. That doesn't mean that other games like PC Replay also I did like as well. After initially not liking it, I really liked it. I just have that sitting on my PC, whereas I have this sitting on my laptop. So it makes it just a little bit more accessible to me, so to speak. But anyway, that's where we are with the project. I was talking to a friend of mine, or talking to someone I know yesterday, Mike Silver, and I was saying to Mike, I said, Mike, because he's well known for doing his projects, well known by me anyway, because at least I know him for the last couple of years, although I've known of him for decades. At least 2, which is quite weird. Sylvam is his nickname on Out of the Pub. Anyway, Sylvam, or Mike, was doing a project when I met him. I think it was 1986, playing every single game. I thought, who would do that? I mean, come on. When I used to play Out of the Park, I used to play career replay with the Out of the Park development engine on. So it would kind of have an alternate reality. And I'd play seasons and decades of, I once did a Boston Red Sox one, which went into the 70s, from the 60s to 70s. I've done various ones. That one stands out in my mind because Reggie Smith, I've realized, is my all-time favorite. I did a Mets one like last year, famously 1962 to 1972, but I've never actually done a replay. Not a replay. So I thought I did try to do one with Action PC 1983 or 82, I can't remember which, but I did enjoy it, but then I lost the save. So it's taken me another year and a half to get back to it, and I thought, well, I know the 80s pretty much, because if you're coming in 85, I was 15, I know the 80s. Obviously, from the time Dwight Gooden came in to the time he was ineffective, it's kind of like where my wheelhouse is or was. Let me just check to see if I'm online. 85, I was 15. I am online. I know the 80s. Yeah. So I decided to go back to the 70s because a lot of those guys I know now. I've played a lot of sim baseball. I've obviously got to know a lot of these players through playing fantasy leagues or keeper leagues we did with Big Clue and Steve Tate and Mike and Jamie, Midlife Crisis, Slashed, I mean, I could go on David Landau. There's a big crowd that plays these games and still do. We're in our third league now at the moment. And I got to learn about all these players. So there are, but 1970s, at least I knew who they were in the 80s. They were older in the 80s. So this gives me a chance to go back into their prime and see them in the 70s. So I kind of like the project. And also, why have I called it what I've called it? Who the hell is Carmen Fanzone anyway? I was just looking through some names and I just happened to find him. And I thought, oh, this is a really fantastic name. Fanzone as a surname. So a couple of weeks ago, actually, I was doing this project and somebody actually went to the same school as Carlos Fanzone. Years later, but they were able to tell me where it's from. And anyway, the point is, it's quite a nice starting point. And then last night I was watching a whole game. My algorithm picked up a 1972 game. I thought they were rare, but actually they're out there. Just going to let the algorithm cook, baby. And the algorithm came up with 1972 Cubs versus, I want to say Cincinnati Reds, I think. So I got to watch Carlos Fanzone. They said he was a trumpeter or played the trumpet or something like that. So there you go. There's a nice little story behind Carmen Fanzone. So where are we? As we get to 9:30 in the UK. This is the season so far to date. The guy we're seeing at the moment is going to be Tommy John. So let's have a look at Tommy John. What's he doing on the season? He's rated 87. Click him. There's his stats. So in the replay at the moment, look at that. Tommy John, 1.72 ERA, 5 starts, 0.86 whip. Nice. Anything under 1.1 is pretty good, I think. 31 innings pitched, 25 hits, 14 strikeouts. He's 2-0. But as I do this, and this is what I love about the game, is I don't know who the other guys are. So this Fred Norman, who the hell is Fred Norman anyway? I don't know. So let's have a look. Who's Fred Norman? There you go. It's rated 82, so he's not a bad player. Here we go. He's having a good season too. In real season, he had 3.44 ERA. He went 9-11, but in this one, he is 2.08 ERA, 0.92 whip. So he's also playing well, but he's 2-2. That's not an indication of him. He's pitching pretty well. So it should be an interesting one. Let's double check Tommy John. I want to see how old he is. So I'm used to seeing Tommy very old. 29 years old, playing for the Dodgers. That's his card. Says in play. That's nice, nice, nice. Aesthetically, this game is really good. At least to look at. And let's look at the Padres. I'm doing this to burn some time, not to eat food senselessly. And he is 30, so they're both the same age. He's a lefty, as is Tommy John, I believe, as well. He's got a good card, so let's have a look at his strikeouts per 9, 7.1. Gives up a little bit of a tater or two. Let's go, let's get into it. Let's call the game. Can't wait. So I'm gonna no. However, when it gets to inning number 7, there is something that they've changed. I did not like the pinch hitting mechanic in this thing. Most of the time it's right, or at least understandable. But sometimes they leave a pitcher in too long, and he bats, and then the next inning he is pulled. That should not happen. So there is that bug. No, I wouldn't say bug, but at least they're going to update it. But I'll play along with it now. There's the lineup. Bill Russell, Manny Mota, Willie Davis, Frank Robinson, who played for the Dodgers, I can't believe, Steve Garvey, Billy Grabarkewicz, Chris Canizaro, Bobby Valentine, and Tommy John. Lineup for San Diego. Darryl Thomas, Jerry Morales, Leron Lee, Nate Colbert, Johnny Jeter, Bob Bond, Dave Campbell, Enzo Hernandez, and Fred Norman. Both lefties going, both AI. Let's go play ball. These are as played lineups, I believe. So here we go. Bill Russell, Manny Mota, and Willie Davis will come up to bat. I don't know if the stadium is designed well, but there he is. I think on the update they've got some changes to this. So here we go. Just around the horn very quickly. Bob Barton behind the plate. Nate Colbert at first, second base. Darryl Thomas at shortstop. Enzo Hernandez, 23 years old. Dave Campbell plays third. I mean, he is bad. Leron Lee, 24, center field, is Johnny Jeter. So a lot of really lower tier players for the Padres. Fred Norman, however, is decent on the mound, coming from a great season, or good season, 9-11, 3.44 ERA. But this season, he's pitching pretty well. Here we go. Here is the payoff pitch. Fred Norman to Bill Russell, tough pitch. And a base hit to start the game for Bill Russell. And he also steals, so it needs to slow down just a bit. But Bill Russell got to first base on a single. Then he stole second base. Here we go. In fact, I'll just quickly change that. I want a manual dice. There we go. Up to bat, Manny Mota batting .263. Here's the pitch. It's a tough pitch. Fast action card and a double. And the run comes home for the Dodgers. So the Dodgers immediately go up 1-0. Manny Mota with a double. And now, as he's on second base, still check for Manny Mota. He's got a jump rating of 3. I love the fact that they factored this in. Nope. And then we're going to do Willie Davis sack bunt. No. Okay. So Davis decides not to bunt. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Norman pitches a tough pitch. A ground out to third. The runner on second may advance. Let's have a look and see what happens. Advancement check. And the runner holds. So Manny Mota will hold. Dave Campbell makes the play out at first. Frank Robinson, a big slugger, comes to bat, batting .253. Who knew Frank Robinson played for the Dodgers in 1972? I did not know that. So this is one of the things I've learned. 1-0 Dodgers, 1 out. Top of the first inning here in San Diego. The pitch, tough pitch. A strikeout. So strikeout for Fred Norman. I wish I knew what he looked like, but I don't. So 1 away, two away now for the Padres. Not many players here I know, but I think I've heard of Nate Colbert. That's about it. The pitch to Steve Garvey. That's a patient pitch. And he walks him. So Garvey walks. So 2 men on for the Dodgers and Billy Grabarkewicz. If I can say that in one go, Billy Grabarkewicz comes to the plate. Third baseman batting .176. 2 men on for the Dodgers. Norman kicks and fires. That's in the wheelhouse. That's a big booming drive, but Leron Lee, lots of range, is an A. He hauls it in, and that's the middle of the first over. Dodgers 1, Padres 0. A quick look in the outfield. Catching behind the plate is a good fielding catcher called Chris Canizaro. I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him. Steve Garvey at first, know him. Bobby Valentine, know him. Billy Russell, I do know him. Billy Grabarkewicz, I've heard of him, so I don't know much about him. In left field, Manny Mota. I do know who he is. Willie Davis, I do know. And in right field, the veteran, Frank Robinson, still rated highly in this season. He batted, in real life, .251, 19 home runs. I think he was traded. Was he traded to Cleveland in this very season? Here is the pitch from Tommy John on the mound. Let's quick look at Tommy John. 29 years old, lefty. 11-5 in real life, 2.89 ERA. I think he's on course for a good season. Tommy John recently passed, but here he is. The beauty of bringing him back. The pitch, patient, and a base hit gives up to Darrell Thomas. Thomas connects, and now we're going to have a steal check. Thomas has, oh gosh, what does he have? Run of 6, steal of 3. What's D? He's not going to get a jump, I don't think. Oh, no. So he's got Jeremy Morales now do a sacrifice bunt check. Nope, there's nothing there. So Tommy John kicks and fires. Tough pitch. Struck him out. Tommy John strikes out Jeremy Morales. He sits down. There's not many. We do this fancy league, not fancy, draft league at the moment, and we chose franchises post-expansion. You pick a team from the pre-expansion years, pre-1961, I think, and then a team from the post-expansion years, and you'll be a fool to pick, anything like the Colorado Rockies or Arizona Diamondbacks, Miami Marlins, blah, blah, blah. But I had a chance to think about the Padres. So I got the Giants in the first round. Great, no problem. I drafted the Giants. So it came my turn again, and what was available was the Padres and the Brewers. Had a quick look at the Padres' history. Did the Padres ever really have a good history? Maybe in the 70s and early 80s? And that is all she wrote. I could be writing on some later Padres teams. Question to you all. Or you choose the Brewers, who consistently have decent players, but not necessarily world beaters. I chose the Brewers. So the Brewers and the Giants are my pick. I'll update you as I go along. Here's LeRon Lee at the plate. Pitch a roll. It's a defensive play. Calls it to the ballpark, and there's a lot of flipping here. A ground out to second base. So LeRon Lee is out. It looks like, hold on. No, he's not. Still one more thing to do. Oh my God. Is there a double play? There's a couple of checks here, basically. No double play. So LeRon Lee reaches first. There's a couple of checks there. And Nate Colbert comes to the plate. Now, Nate is a guy I do have heard of. And he's rated 99, so he must have had a good 1972. In fact, looking at him, 250 batting average, 38 home runs. Need to look up Nate Colbert. Nate Colbert digs in. He's 26 years old. Tommy John at the plate. 1-0 Dodgers. 2 men out. Bottom of the first. Here is the pitch. Tough pitch. Struck him out. So Nate Colbert sits down, and we go to the top of the second. Chris Canizaro, the catcher, at the plate. He's batting just a 162. We just began May. As a ballpark, this could be a wheelhouse. Let's see what his wheelhouse numbers are. Against a lefty. Ooh, there is a 12%. There's a 12% chance of a home run. Let's have a look. And a base hit. So in the wheelhouse, Granzaro gets there. So we're going to do a sacrifice bunt check for Bobby Valentine. No. So here we go. Fred Norman pitches. Tough pitch. Rare play. Okay, so this is a... I don't know what happened there. Bobby Valentine struck out. That's all I do know. Here we go. Sacrifice bunt check for Tommy John. The bunt attempt is good. And looks like Tommy John gets a sacrifice bunt. No? Yeah. He does. So runner down at third, Chris Canizaro. So we get Bill Russell on the plate, 1-for-1 today, batting .338. Good numbers so far for Bill at the beginning of May. Here's the pitch, a patient pitch from Norman, and it's a walk for Bill Russell. So Russell would jog all the way down to first, and we do a steal check. So steal check on Bill Russell. And double 2, that's a 4. It looks like it was successful. The jump was successful. Here is the steal. And he's safe. So Bill Russell gets the stolen base. That's 2 men out, 2 man on second, man on third. And Manny Modas, I don't know what good that did, but anyway, they're hoping that Manny Moda can bring him home, batting 276. Here's 1 for 1. Moda digs in at the plate. Norman looks at him. For some reason, I've got a frozen screen. Oh, here we go. The payoff pitch. Ballpark. In play. Awaiting flip. It could be a double. It's a double for Canizaro, for Manny Mota. So that did help. The stolen base did help, and it's 3-0 Dodgers. Manny Mota comes through his second base hit. Manny Mota. Fred Norman snatches the ball. He's very upset at the moment. And Willie Davis tries to the plate. He's batting 295. He's 0 for 1 today. So the runner at second, a pitcher roll, tough pitch, struck him out. So that is the Dodgers going down. Willie goes down swinging. Up next, middle of the second, Jeter, Barton, and Campbell, none of whom I know. Who the hell are these guys anyway? Tommy John takes the mound for the second inning. Hopefully he'll have a quick one. Pitch, tough pitch. Flying out deep to left field. Mota, 1, 2, 3 steps, and he holds it in. So that Manny Mota making his presence felt. There's Bob Barton. Who the hell are these guys? Rated only 58. He's a catcher. And Tommy John should make short work of him. In play. And he pops up to the second baseman. Valentine clears everybody away. And an easy catch for Bobby Valentine. I know him as a manager. And a very fruity manager at that. 2 away for Tommy John. Honoring Tommy John, the great Tommy John. I think he's 2-0 on the season. See, I don't get it. Where do you see the season stats? I saw it before the game. See, this is the thing. They're updating the game tomorrow, so you'll probably start to see a bit more information, but I don't see any here. The payoff pitch. It's in play to Campbell. He pops up also. And just like that, the Padres go down. 1, 2, 3. Bill Russell makes the catch. So we go to the end of the second, and the top of the third coming up is Big Frank Robinson, Steve Garvey, and Billy Grabarkevitz. Fred Norman on the mound is Frank Robinson, the big slugger. Patient pitch, and he walks. So Frank gets a walk. He's on first. Well, he doesn't have the wheels, really. But it says here, steal 2D. What does that mean? Here we go. He doesn't steal, doesn't get a jump. And Steve Garvey, the young slugger, comes to the plate. 24 years old, batting just 250. And he got a walk earlier on. Here's Norman. Pitches. Tough pitch. Grounds a second. They're checking. Frank Robinson gets a second. Darrell Thomas scoops it up and throws the first for the out. So Frankie's at second. Got his old legs moving there, Frank Robinson. Here's Billy Grabarkevitz. Batting just 171. He's 0 for 1 today. Tough pitch from Norman. Struck him out. Top of the third. 3-0 Dodgers. Dodgers having a good, I think they're on a winning streak at the moment. Here's Chris Canizaro. Famous patient veteran. Patient. And he walks. So Canizaro takes ball 4. 2 Dodgers are on, and Bobby Valentine comes to the plate. The feisty second baseman's batting 273. He's 0 for 1 today. He digs in at the plate. Norman stares at him. Toes the rubber. Kicks. It's a tough pitch. It could be a single. It is a single But Bobby Valentine bringing home Chris Canizaro and bringing home Frank Robinson. So the speed of Canizaro and Robinson advanced them. So it's 4-0 Dodgers. This could be a good game for Tommy John as he comes in. He's had lots of help so far. Bobby Valentine coming through. The pitch, defensive call. It could be an error. Third is out. It looks like in the end. A ground out to third. So there was an error check there by Dave Campbell. So here we go. Bottom of the third inning. The anemic San Diego Padres. There's nobody batting above 250. Jesus. Enzo Hernandez comes to the plate, young fella. Tommy John looking to rock his world. Tough pitch. A line out straight to second. Bobby Valentine snags it for the very quick reaction by Bobby Valentine at second. Tommy John faces his opposite number to Fred Norman. The payoff pitch is in play. Flying out to center field. Willie Davis goes back 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Makes the catch for the out. Willie, 32 years old. He was on those Dodgers of 62, 63, 64. Been around for quite a while. I think he had a good 73 or good 71. One of the two, I do know. Anyway, Darryl Thomas comes to the plate. He's in play. Flying out to left field. Manny Mota makes the catch. So, 1, 2, 3. Tommy John cruising along. Fred Norman starts the fourth inning. Bill Russell is 1 for 1 today with a walk. Tough pitch. Ground out to second base. Darryl Thomas makes the scoop up. Throw to first for the out. Norman to Manny Mota, who's 2 for 2, 3 RBIs. He's the star of the show. The pitch in play. And a base hit for Manny Mota. That one skips into the outfield for a base hit. So will Willie Davis sacrifice bunt him? No. Norman stares over at Mota. Willie Davis 0 for 2. Count, full count. Popped up to the shortstop, Enzo Hernandez. So a lot of these Padres, I do know who the hell they are. I think I've heard of Jerry Morales. I think so. Nate Colbert I've definitely heard of, but now I will definitely investigate him. Norman looks things as Frank Robinson coming to the plate. The big slugger is 0 for 1 today. Batting 250. In play. Ground him out to the second base. Darryl Thomas moves to his left. Corrals it and throws the first for the out. So we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Jerry Morales will lead off for the Padres. So what I'll do after the game, I'll start looking him up. Tommy John pitches. Tough pitch. So batter roll. So we fly out to center field when we look at the card. Davis goes back and makes the easy catch. 1 away. LeRon Lee. He's rated quite highly. He was the only 300 hitter, it looks like. Has 370 at bats, 12 home runs. At the moment, LeRon Lee is batting 250, which is probably the highest, along with Barton. Patiently waits. John kicks and fires. Ballpark. Wheelhouse, this could go. No, a single, hard hit single by LeRon Lee. Goes around first, but he'll stay. And Colbert, there's no way he's going to sack Bunty, but let's see. Nope. Colbert steps back into the box. Looked at the sign. They're not bunting. So here we go. Man on first, 1 out. Bottom of the fourth. Pitch from Tommy John. A tough pitch. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts for Nate Colbert. Tommy John, 3.2 innings pitched, faced 13 batters, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Here's Johnny Jeter. Was it any relation to the great Derek Jeter? I don't think so. He's 28 years old. Here we go. The pitch. Well, I don't know, actually, if he is related. It's in play. A ground out to the shortstop. Bill Russell scoops it up and throws a looping ball over the first, and that's out. So we go to the top of the fifth. Garvey, Grubber-Gabitz, and Canizaro will come up to bat for the Dodgers. The visiting Dodgers leading 4-0. Fred Norman is toiling. Patient pitch. And it's a double for Steve Garvey, the young slugger. A line shot off the wall, and he's got a double. This boy is going to be a superstar. Here's Billy Grubber-Gabitz. He's playing third base today. In play, fly out to right. Morales goes back to the fence almost, but he's always in control. He settles it for the out. So a bunt check now for Canizaro is going to bunt. Man on second is Steve Garvey. They do not bunt. Okay. All right. Canizaro, here he gets the pitch. A tough pitch. Ground out to the shortstop. They're having trouble. Oh, this was an extra play. And Enzo Hernandez. Yeah, that was ground out to Enzo. My name is Enzo. Enzo the Baker. The Godfather, part 2. Enzo. Sorry if I get that wrong. Fred Norman here. Bobby Valentine steps in. The pitch, tough pitch. Grounds out to the shortstop. Fernandez, a flashy player. Scoops up and throws for the out. So we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Dodgers still on top, 4-0. They've got 7 hits in this ball game. Only 2 hits for the Padres as Bob Barton comes to the plate. Barton batting .250. The pitch in play. Grounds out to the shortstop. Russell to his right. Takes his time and throws to first. That's 1 away. Easy going here for Tommy John. This could be a shutout. Maybe a bit too early. The pitch in play. Campbell pops up, and Dave Campbell, the third baseman, pops up to Bobby Valentine. 2 away. This is easy here for Tommy John. John kicks and fires. Tough pitch. Grounds out to second. Valentine scoops it up, and a routine play for him. Easy as Sunday morning. And that is 4-0 Dodgers. The Padres looking anemic at the moment. Only got 2 hits. Here we go. Tommy John will bat for himself. Top of the 6th. Tough pitch. Struck him out. So Fred Norman gets his 5th strikeout. So he's got some talent. In fact, he is a strikeout pitcher, really. Here is Bill Russell. A tough pitch. Flying out to center field. Johnny Jeter makes an easy catch for the out. It's 2 away. Here comes the star of the show. Manny Mota digging in. Manny Mota batting .300. 3 for 3. 3 RBIs. I believe he's got 2 doubles today. He digs in at the plate. Norman takes his time. Throw pitches. Tough pitch. Popped up to the first baseman. I don't know what that was. And Nate Colbert gets under it for the out. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Very quickly racing through this game. Tommy John against Fred Norman. Now, Norman is pitching. Now, at this stage, I might change this. I'm going to take the control of the San Diego Padres. Now, let's see if I can do any better than... Here we go. AI. take that sucker off. Except now, I'm going to bat for Fred Norman. So I need to, I've never done this before, so obviously this is new. So I know how to make it. Well, let's see who I've got on the bench. Kurt Blefary, Fred Kendall, Gary Justad. Oh my God. So the best person here is Fred Kendall, Gary Justad. I've got a righty, a lefty on the mound. I'm sacrificing a really good pitcher, but I've got to get back into the game. So I will choose Blefary. No, it's a left-hander. I will choose, let's go with this guy. No, he's 246, 216. There really isn't anybody that can hit in this team. All right, we'll go with Gary Justad coming in for Fred Norman. It should be as easy as here, change it there. Yep, that's it. Gary Justad is now in for San Diego. Let's see if my magic and my management skills are any good. Tommy John with the pitch. In play. And a base hit for Justad. There you go. That's some of my Red Bolt magic. Red Bolt's magic is my team in the Fantasy League or the Keeper Leagues are the Manchester Red Bolts. I'm very proud of them, whatever iteration they have. And I call it Red Bolt magic. Well, you just saw it. Darrell Thomas at bat. He's batting 230, so we'll let him bat. No, we know our limitations on the... No. Let me have a look. I've got a little idea fermenting in my head. I haven't got a second baseman. So what I'm looking to do is bat for Thomas, but I've got no second baseman. So Darrell Thomas will bat. And it's a walk. So there's trouble here. And the San Diego Organ starts to go. Dun 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 dun. Oh my God, I'm terrible. Well, right now, I'll put it back onto AI. So the main decision was made. And let's go. Now, in the update they're doing to the game, I know that will be fixed. But I just interfered. That's good. So I'll get rid of the bug. Tommy John now. 2 men on. Nobody out. Tough pitch. Flying out to left field. So Morales doesn't come through. So Leron Lee comes up. Now he can hit. He's in the position of number 3, so he can hit. 259. 1 man out. Leron Lee against Tommy John. That's a lefty versus lefty. Let's have a look again and see what I could do. Robles. No. No. He won't do well. But what have I got to lose? What did he do? He is... Alright, let Leron Lee hit. Lefty versus lefty. 1 man out. Pitch. Patience. Oh, waiting flip. And they single. And they get 2 runs home. No, a run home. So Leron Lee gets a single. And the runner comes home. Now then, big hitter, Nate Colbert, comes to the plate. John, tough pitch. Grounds out to the shortstop. Russell makes the play. So that's fire is put out. Now there's a manager makes a change, and Gary Ross enters the game. As he should. Gary Ross, the analytics say that he is 56% good. Pitches, 31% bad. Okay. Best is patient. Core is patient. Okay. Willie Davis comes up. Now he's 0 for 3. Patient pitch. And it's a triple for Willie. As Beatles eternally would say, it's a triple. So, and now we're going to do a steal jump kick. Willie Davis is not going to steal home. There is no way they would do. It's calling for that. He's got a jump ready for it. He won't pass it anyway. Oh, he does. What does that mean? No, he doesn't. The infield is in. Gary Ross is the pitcher. Gary Ross is 25 years old. 4-3 in 1972 with a 2.45 ERA. A decent pitcher may give up the walk. Frank Robinson at the plate. Defense. The range at first base is checked. It could be a hit. Base hit for the Dodgers. Frank Robinson finds a hole. So they extend the lead to 5-1 in the 7th. Gary Ross, who the hell is Gary Ross anyway? He's ranked 123 out of 392 relievers in the league. Steve Garvey, youngster, coming up now, 24 years old, batting .256. He's 1 for 2 today. We've seen no home runs. Defense called for. Checking the range in left field. Final play. Out. Fly out for Leron Lee. He's got good range. And he's out. So one away here is Billy Grubber-Kavitz steps to the plate. Oh my God. No, I don't like this guy. So let me be the Dodgers manager for a second. Walter Aston making a change. Billy Grubber not playing, and we are going to play Jim Lefevre. So I don't know why he didn't play in the game. But Jim Lefevre coming into play. And I think there is a steal check on Frank Robinson. No, he's not going to get there. So Jim Lefevre coming in. I love that name, Lefevre. Or Lefebvre. Coming in. Gary Ross looks at him. Now I have to go again to not be the manager. Right, you're going to go a normal defense. So Lefevre, the pitch. It's a defensive play. The range at shortstop is checked. Check against the ballpark. It's an out, looking like it's going to be an out. An out to ground out to the shortstop. And that is that. Oh, they're checking double play too. So the fever move didn't work out. He grounds into a double play. So that's how my management skills are. So here we go. I need to fix the current lineup. 2 players are assigned to second base. Okay. That's easy to do. Bobby Valentine is the one at second, so we go to third base. And Jim Lefevre will take over there. It's definitely on AI, but I had to do that. That's fine. Tommy John against Johnny Jeter. In play, ground out to third. Lefevre, a much better fielder, makes the play at first. Straight away, Jim Lefevre called into the act. And now a change. So Tommy John gets a round of applause as he leaves the mound. Thank you, Tommy John, for all your service to baseball. He leaves, and it's past his leash. And in comes Jim Brewer now to close it out for the Dodgers. AI manager sends Frank Kendall in to hit. So Brewer will take it. Patient out. And the result is a walk, so straight away, ball 4. That is a book I've been reading a lot lately. What a book that is. Oh. Fred Kendall at first. Here's Rafael Robles. The pitch, tough out. Struck him out by Jim Brewer. 2 out for the Dodgers. Here's Enzo Fernandez. He's batting 0 for 2. Fly out to left field. Manny Mota easily holds that in. 1, 2, 3, they go down. So the Padres not really doing well here as we go Chris Canizaro. I don't like him either. Let's give one of the veterans a try. Dick Dietz. Dick Dietz. So I've just learned you can make substitutions without changing the AI manager. That's good. The pitch in play. A ground out to the shortstop. Enzo has it. And that is good for him. The pitch from Gary Ross. It's a patient pitch, and he walks him. Bobby Valentine takes ball 4. Will Crawford sacrifice bunt him? No bunt. A little bit behind there as Woody Crawford took over. We know that he came to pinch hit. Crawford patiently stands at the plate. Hey! Midlife, I didn't see your comment there. Who is Carmen Fanzone? I don't know if you're still there or not. I wasn't even looking at the thing. Walk issued to Crawford. So here he goes. Will there be a sack bunted? So who is Carlos Fanzone? That's the question. A utility player for the Cubs, it seems. Bill Russell at the plate is in play. Base runners advance. It's a single, so the bases are loaded for the hottest man on the Dodgers. Manny Mota batting 3 for 4. He's 3 RBIs, 2 doubles. The infield is in. 1 out. Payoff pitch from Gary Ross. In play. Fly out to left field, and LeRon Lee makes the catch. Willie Davis comes in. The pitch. Final result. And it's a single. And 2 runs come home. And now Mike Corkins comes in for the Padres. As Frank Robinson comes to the plate. More danger here. They lead 7-1. What a blowout. Tough pitch. Grounds out to the shortstop, and that should do it. Fernandez to his right. Routine play. And now another pitching change as Pete Richard comes in. Well, we're not going to use Mike Corkins. He's not going to pitch. So this is what I've just discovered. I can change it myself. So I'll just keep looking at it. So who would bat? Let's bring in this guy, Kurt Blefary. No. Yes. Kurt Blefary comes in. And Pete Richard pitches. Patient pitch. And a base hit for Blefary. Will the sacrifice him across by Dick Dietz? No. By Darrell Thomas? No. Thomas looks in. Tough pitch. Flying out to right field. Frank Robinson will make the catch for the out. Will Jerry Morales bunt Blefary? Nope. So Richard here, 1 out. Hey, Midlife, if you're still there. A pitch to Jerry Morales. Grounds out to the shortstop. And it's a batter. Blefary gets down to second. So here's LeRon Lee now. He's the star of the Padres, and he was in real life. It looks that way. He bats 300, 351 on base, nearly 500 slugging. He's rated 94, so he's about the only star. Never heard of him before. LeRon Lee is best against a tough pitcher. Here's lefty versus lefty, though. Do I want to change anything? Yes, I want to change Richard. No, I don't. Here is the pitch. A single for LeRon Lee, and Blefary comes home. 7-2 as LeRon Lee. And now Nate Colbert, the big slugger, comes in. I'm assuming he's big. Rated 99. Richard. That's a tough pitch. Struck him out. So Nate, third strikeout of the day. Garvey, Lefebvre, and Dietz coming up. So another pitcher enters the game, Mark Schaefer. Done his warm-up pitches, and he goes. Let's go. It's a tough pitch. A fly out to left field. LeRon Lee is there. Top of the ninth. 1 out. 7-2 Padres are behind. There's Schaefer, and that's in Lefebvre's wheelhouse. And that is going back. It is gone. Jim Lefebvre gets a home run. Jimmy boy, home run. Ooh. First home run of the day. We trust around the bases, give us some swag. And Dick Dietz is at the plate, 31 years old. Schaefer gave up the home run. He doesn't have good control. Here is the pitch. Patient pitch. As I just said it, he walks him. Dick Dietz. So Bobby Valentine looking to bunt. Nope. There's Valentine. There's a patient pitch. A fly out to center field. So Bobby goes 1 for 4 today. He goes down to sit down on the bench. Pete Richards will bat. Patient pitch. A fly out to flip the card, and it's a single. The Dietz goes up 2. Here's Bill Russell, 2 for 4. So Pete Richards is going to be left in the game. Patient pitch. Result is a fly out to left field. LeRon Lee comes across and makes it catch for the out. So here we go now to close out the ball game. So what have I learned? Fever got a home run. I made the change, to be fair. Yeah, a bit of my red bolt magic. Here we go. Let's have a quick look at Discord. Is anyone in Discord? Nope. So pitch to Jeter. Patient pitch. Ground out to first base. Steve Garvey makes a routine play. Here's Fred Kendall. Struck him out. Bobby Valentine. And that is it. Tommy John, honoring Tommy John. He gets the player of the game, 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. I think that is, or is it the win? He gets the game ball. I don't think they give game balls out in baseball. There's no game balls in baseball. Tommy John gets the win. Fred Norman gets the loss. So that was a good game for me to watch the Dodgers anyway. And the Dodgers win. Just sim the current day. Angels beat the Athletics. The White Sox trounced the Twins. The Yankees continued to impress as 7-1. Tigers over the Orioles. Royals over the Rangers. The Red Sox put a hammering on the Brewers. The Astros confidently beat the Braves. The Mets go down to the Expos. The Cubs go into Philadelphia and lose 7-6. And the Cardinals beat the Flying Pirates 8-4. That was a big game, the Cardinals and the Pirates. So if we check the standings at the end of today, we can see the Yankees have won 5 in a row. They're scoring a lot of runs. Cleveland is just hanging in there at the moment. 3 games back. Detroit is up there. Baltimore, Boston after a slow start. In the West, the Twins are ahead. The Twins have just got to know who they are. The White Sox are right there with Dick Allen leading the way. The Royals are up there. The Oakland Athletics, I think in real life, they won, so they're off to a slow start. Texas, 10-16. And the California Angels, 9-17. In the National League, the Pirates were leading. The last 10 are 8-2, but you've got the Philadelphia Phillies now up there. And they've actually blown away in the competition, really, Pittsburgh and Philly. Because actually looking at the others, the Expos are on a bit of a run. The Cardinals won the last game, but there are guys at 7.5 back already. This is in May, I think. The Pirates, the Dodgers are ahead. They lead by a 1.5 games over the Reds. So that's going to be a fight. Astros are in there still. Giants are in there, but San Diego, oof. And Atlanta, oof. So, just looking at some stats, Steve. So I said I would look at the Padres. Just looking at these leaders, just perusing over it. I've heard of Tom Bradley now because I've played with him, but I'd never heard of him before. Sonny Seabird I've heard of, but don't know much about him. Fritz, that's the wife-swapping Fritz Peterson with Mike Kekich. Tommy John there as a whip leader. He's up to 4. And he's 7th on the strikeout list. So that brings to an end my broadcast. Hope you enjoy it. If you're listening or you're catching up at a later date in the future or listening while you shower, it's good night from me and it's good night from him. Until next time, bye-bye. Next time I will use the updated version, which I can't wait for.